guys, this is what we're making today. The Rayna by Lindshandmade, but I'm doing it in all leather. So this blue is all leather. You have a gorgeous strap here, and how she does her straps is really nice. Nice tabs. You have a nice zipper pocket here. And then on the inside, you have actually quite a bit of room, and there is a slip pocket here. Tons of room, really. The depth is deeper than the Louis, but the overall, the size is probably the size of the small Louis. I have a iPhone 14 Pro Max. It will not fit in this pocket, and it won't fit in this pocket. It will fit here, though, easily. Very cute. All leather on the outside. Go get the pattern. Let's get started. Good morning, everyone. This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs, and I'm getting ready to record the Rayna Sling by Lindshandmade. It's a brand new pattern, just released last week, I believe. And there are already several videos out there about it, so actually a couple live, so I'm just going to record mine. But the difference for me is I'm going to be doing it in leather. So this gorgeous blue leather with this waterproof canvas for the lining. Very pretty. I'll go over each piece as I make the sling. It's very similar to the Louis, but it's wider, deeper, I should say. I don't think it's any bigger. We'll see. I haven't made it yet. It's very cute. Linz does a great job with her patterns, and she gives very good directions. So, and she's also a leather maker, by the way, so she does some things in leather as well. So we're going to get started. I am going to use black matte hardware. I'm going to use my black matte zipper tape that I have. All the hardware is from my website. Let's get started. The Rayna Sling by Lindshandmade. All right, so on these two, these are the D-ring connectors. I just glued them together, and now we're going to cut them out. I did forget to cut out my pattern piece. I don't really like to cut out pattern pieces if I don't have to. If they have a regular measurement, you know what I mean? Okay. So let's use our leather pen. Sorry for the noise. And mine are going to be very close, so I'm just going to really just cut off the ends. Mark my rivet holes. It probably would be easier to do this with a bigger piece, but I didn't really want to do a bigger piece because it's leather. Okay. Okay, so there you go. I'll punch those corners. I did not skive these pieces either. I decided to leave them. Oops, I've got quite the mess here. Unskied for sturdiness sake. So let's, I'm gonna trim my, or put my holes in. I'll do that on fast forward. So you don't have to hear it either. Okay, so the next step is take your square ring, 1.5 inch square ring, and this is your small piece of webbing, and we're just going to sew that together at the bottom. I'm using some bobbins. Oops, hold on. So that's what we have there. Set those 3 pieces aside for just a minute. Take your longer piece of webbing, and we're going to put a little strap end on there made out of the leather. And I did sky this piece. Just because this was pretty thick leather, really. Okay. Now we're just going to sew that on. Oh, no, we're not going to sew that on yet. Hold, please. No, we are. Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself because we're not using swivel clasps. I'm going to live dangerously and do a little square without marking it. I know. Don't judge me. I gotta get over here where I can see. Goodness gracious alive. Okay. Not bad. It got a little wonky right there, but I'm okay with that. My thread came up. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Not too bad. It got a little wonky right there. It's not going to be seen. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, now let me grab my slider. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping things left and right, you guys. All right, let's put this up and through our slide adjuster. And then she has you putting some rivets. Ugh, I'd known that, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm going to go ahead and do them this time. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't like putting rivets through webbing, but here's the thing. It's really through the vinyl, so I think it'll be fine. Let me get my rivets out here. Just trying to make sure I have the same rivet. Okay. Let's mark it. I'm going to do it here and here. Whatever you're doing, just make sure you're staying outside of your thread, your stitching, because if you don't, you'll completely decrease the integrity of your stitching. Cute little guys. Okay, let me go press those and we'll do the other part. All right, so take your, I don't know what she calls this. This is the strap accent, but your silver glass bond, I did just some double-sided tape. I think she uses cement, and you could. This is going to be sewn, so I'm really not going to worry about it. And then we're going to add this onto our piece that has the square ring. And we're going to get that nice and even and centered. Take off our tape and get that on there nice and even, matching the sides. Perfect. Just like that. Now we are going to sew all the way around here. And we're going to get as close to that swivel clasp as possible. All right, here we go. Now my back stitch, just once. Okay, looks pretty good, really. I missed it right there. Okay, so I have to fix that. It's okay. that doesn't look too bad, actually, because I went over my front stitches. It's a miracle. Okay. I'll show you what happened. Okay, so there it goes. Now, I backstitched, so it's fine, but I missed it right here on the back, and so I just went back over my stitches just to make sure that it's nice and caught there, and it really doesn't look too bad. Okay, so that's that. Next step. Okay, so take this piece that you just created and attach it on your long piece, and it goes up and over the slide adjuster. So this is right side up, this is right side up, okay? Don't get it twisted, and then we're gonna add this piece here. So I get my tape off. Again, nice and centered. Just like that, okay? All right, let's sew this on. Okay, sorry, so now we're gonna stitch around this side. And I'm gonna just go backwards. Well, I think I should be able to do it. I need to come one more tiny stitch. There we go. Yeah. All right. And that should do it. I can't believe I made it through that bobbin. I'm doing a bobbin dump today, and I'm actually surprised. All right, let's clean that up just a little. Perfect. Now there is a little bit of a hangover here of my leather, so I'm just gonna briefly, gently trim that. Perfect. Okay, now our strap is done. Isn't it nice? I think I will put some rivets in here. I think she wants you to do that too. So let's do it. All right, so we got our sling crossbody strap. It really looks nice. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. Now, I do not like mesh, so she calls for a mesh pocket. I am not doing a mesh pocket. I am gonna just do 2 pieces of my waterproof canvas. Never been a big fan of mesh. I think it stretches, even the good stuff, I think stretches. So we're just gonna sew this together. 1/4 inch, turn it and top stitch. And you could put a little accent topper on it. I decided not to because my leather is pretty thick. I just don't think this needs it. Okay. there's my little pocket out of my waterproof canvas. Grab one of your lining pieces. We are going to add that across the bottom. Just like that. Grab my other clips. Okay, and we will baste that on. And I'm going to do it from this side because I want to get my corners here. I can't believe I still have bobbin. Okay, now you just want to trim your little corners that are overhanging here. Okay. Cute. Now, you could choose to make a little pen pocket or something. I'm going to leave it because more than likely that's where I'll want to put my phone, or anybody could put their phone there if I decide to sell it. Okay, so now we're going to do our side wings. Now keep in mind, when you cut these out, it's mirrored pieces. So 2 with the pattern piece up, 2 with the pattern piece down. Okay. This will be interesting because this is leather, so I don't know how it's going to turn. We're going to leave this long straight edge unsewn because we're going to turn it. And the seam allowance in the pattern. Oh, I ran out of bobbin. Look at that. Okay. I have a full bobbin ready to go. I should have checked it. Always check your bobbin. Let's try it again. All right, I am gonna trim this pretty good. And if you're using cotton, I would use pinking shears. But this is obviously leather. Okay, let's see how it's going to turn. A little nervous about that. All right, full disclosure, this was just not going to work. It didn't look good. I didn't like it. That's as good as I could get it. It's too thick. So what I decided to do is I'm going to put them right sides together and we will just edge coat them. So I'm going to do my stitching and then I'll trim them. it looked awful. I wasn't having it. Okay, so there we go. So right sides together. I did skive these too, just FYI. Because you don't want them too thick. Okay, now I'm gonna just top stitch and then I will trim them, and then I probably will no, I'm gonna think about it. Let me think about it. 100% better. So sometimes when you use leather, you have to make adjustments. All right, so I'm going to trim these to about 1/8 of an inch. And then I will put at a minimum a base coat. So just like that. Oh, much happier with that, much happier. Okay. All right, let's trim this one. All right, so now you have 2 wings. I'm going to base coat them and then I'll come back. Okay, I edge coated both my little strap ends and my wings, and I put 2 coats on, so I'm just going to let that sit and dry on my parchment paper. I feel like, you know, a little kid. It's fabulous. Okay, and now we're going to take our front piece and our lining and our smaller zipper. I have not put my zipper pull on yet. I'm living dangerously. And we're going to lay our zipper right side down. We're going to take our lining piece and lay that right on top. And I marked my centers. I don't know that I'm going to be able to see them. Let's see. Okay. And then we're going to sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. It is different for this step. Just keep that in mind. Okay, and before I go any further, this is actually your front. So I'm going to put my tag on here before I go any further, because I'm using one of my metal tags. And I'm just going to put a just off center right here in the corner. If I can find my marker. Yeah. I'm just going to grab a piece of Decaville since I don't really have any stabilizer. Since I'm using leather and waterproof canvas. right, let's put it on. See if I can get it straight. Oh gosh, I think that's straight. A little pounding. And I'm going to add just a little piece of foam or fleece, whatever works for you. I have all kinds of foam and fleece scraps that it really helps to protect your other side of whatever you have there. Okay, just like that. Beautiful. Okay, now bring those together, wrong sides together. Oh my gosh, I got it on straight. Tony's going to be so proud of me. That's the first thing he always looks for. Because I'm terrible at it. I'm just terrible at it. I don't know why. But I am. You guys struggle with getting tags on straight too? It's annoying is what it is. All right. Okay, now let's just baste. Oh, we're going to top stitch below the zipper. Okay. Now I skived this leather and it's fine. I probably skived it to 2 ounces and that works actually pretty good. Okay. Cute. So take your front top and we're gonna do the same thing. And I thought I had this centered, but I think it'll be fine. And your lining. Okay. And so that at the seam allowance in the pattern. Turn that over, wrong sides together. Cute as a button. I'm going to use some Wonder Clips. And we'll top stitch above the zipper teeth. Okay. And then we'll put our zipper pull on. And we want it going opening to the right. Whatever is your preference, though. I mean, perfect. Okay. Now, we are going to trim this, but first, I want to baste all the way around so nothing comes loose. Okay, so first we're going to lay a lining piece right sides together with our front. This is the front. So we're going to lay those right sides together, and then I'm going to baste them all the way around. Then I will trim my zippers. And they fit perfectly. I love it. Start on the bottom. It's a little bag. But it's deep, which is nice. So now what you've done is you created that zipper pocket. I'm just looking to make sure I caught it all. So now you have a fully lined zipper pocket in there. Love it. Trim off your excess zipper tape. And just make sure everything is nice and even. I had just a tiny bit of overhang. Not much. And we trimmed our zipper ends, so go ahead and give those a little flame. Cute. Okay, next. All right, so now we're putting our pieces together. So this is my front with my zipper, and this is the side with my pocket, and those are wrong sides together. And I did the same with the plain back. Plain back, wrong sides together with a liner piece. And we're just going to baste those all the way around. All right, the next thing we're going to do is our zipper panel. So we're going to put 1/8 inch double-sided tape on each long end. And we're going to lay our zipper right side down on our exterior piece. This is just like every other zipper gusset. And we're going to take one of our lining pieces and sandwich that right on top. And sew that with the seam allowance in the pattern. Let me just double check that seam allowance. Yeah. Okay. why I always check seam allowances, especially on zippers, is because it makes a difference on how everything fits. So just keep that in mind. You always want to follow their seam allowances, their designer seam allowances, because it does make a difference. Not all the time, but most of the time it will make a difference on how things fit. So we're going to pull those wrong sides together. And then we're going to baste, top stitch next to the zipper teeth, and then baste all the way around. Okay. Let's do it. I missed it just a tiny bit right there. All right, and now we're going to repeat that on this other side of our zipper. Okay, so I'm going to just talk about what I've done. Obviously, I did my gusset on both sides. Then you're going to trim this whole piece to a certain length and a certain width. So what I did is what it is supposed to be width-wise, I just divided that in two and measured down the center of the zipper and drew a line and cut it. And then I'm using 2 zipper pulls, so I added 2 zipper pulls. And then the length is supposed to be a certain length too. Okay, so now we've got that all ready to go. Next step. All right, so now we're going to just add our exterior gusset and our lining gusset. So exteriors are right sides together. And our lining is right sides together. And we're going to stitch that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay. Fold those wrong sides together. Oops, I didn't cut that. Our wrong sides together, and we're going to stop top stitch on the bottom gusset. make sure it's nice and taut. Doesn't have to be tight. Okay. Then you're going to pull your exterior up to the other side. And attach that. And the same with your lining. And it's a little pull because your bottom gusset is a little shorter than your zipper gusset. Okay, and that's okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm just going to add a couple clips to keep that together, just like that. And repeat. And turn that right side out and top stitch right here. Just make sure you're not sewing anything in there that doesn't need to be, like the other side of your gusset. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and I'm sure she wants us to clip and baste our bottom gusset together. This lining is fraying pretty bad. Okay. Let's just baste that down each side. Okay. Nice. Next step. All right, put your bottom gusset seams together, and we're gonna center all 4 sides. Your top gusset, zipper gusset, and your bottom. Now, before I do the bottom, if your gusset doesn't match, like mine doesn't quite, just trim that just a little. Because you don't want it to not match. And the same over here. I must have made my pieces too big. That's all right. That often happens with gussets and zipper gussets, so you just trim them up. All right, now put those back together and mark your bottom gusset on both sides, top and bottom. Okay, beautiful. Next step. All right, I normally will use fold over elastic, but I'm gonna do it her way this time. So I have my binding piece just out of my same waterproof canvas. I folded it over, and she starts her binding on the top. Very interesting. I always start mine on the bottom, but I'm gonna do just like she tells you to. And we're just clipping that right sides together all the way around. This is actually a quilter's way of binding, and I do like how it ends up, really. And you will have a little extra, so we're gonna fold that over. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. All right, so just like this, and we're gonna base that in place. Actually, she tells you a seam allowance, so let's do a seam allowance. And I'm gonna turn it right the other way there. There we go. Okay, there we go. And I've got quite a bit of extra, so I'm just going to trim that off. I don't want to use my good scissors. Okay. Man, this fabric is really... I didn't realize it was fraying so badly. Okay. Then we're going to repeat that on the other side. Look at this. Craziness. Okay, I'll do this side on fast forward. It's the exact same steps. And I'm just going to start and stop where I started the other one, and I'll do it on fast forward. All right, so center your wings. Find the center of your wings. And we're going to attach those to the back. And I just did one base coat. I think that's fine for these. It's leather, you know? And we're going to center these where our center is marked and base them in place. And then I did get my stapler to do the gusset. So there's that. So there's the back for our wings. How cute is that? All right, now let's mark your center. So with the centers that you found earlier, mark the centers on the sides. It's very minimal, but you want to make sure you do that. Okay. All right, so this is the top. And I don't really think she says, let's just look here, which goes on first. She does say start with the front of the bag, which is this. So let's do that. Let's do it. So I turned my gusset right side out, or yeah, wrong side out. And we're gonna add that to the front of the bag. Now I'm just gonna clip the straight edges. And then on the top and the bottom, and we'll do this side together, and then I'll do the other side on fast forward. So center, find the center of your bottom, clip that. And then find the center of your side. And clip that. Then I'm going to snip my gusset. On all four corners. And you're snipping half your seam allowance. So you have a decent seam allowance. Okay. staple. We're going to staple as close to the edge as we can. And especially because I'm using leather, I do not want any of my staples to be seen on the outside. I wouldn't want it if I was using regular, so vinyl or anything. Just remember, however many staples you put in, you have to take them out. It's not a bad thing what I'm saying, it's just a fact. I would highly recommend you staple. This is a snug fit. Now, it's a snug fit for me, probably because of the leather. I don't know. I haven't made a one in any other fabric, so. Okay, one more side. This one didn't take. Take that out. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Here we go. Just trying to go really slow around the corner so I don't get any puckers if I can avoid it. Okay, here we go. Let's see. No puckers that I can see. This is a tiny bag. I'm actually considering already making one at 115%. I think I will. I love it. All right, so now I'm going to take out my staples. I'll do that off. Okay, so now we are going to fold over our binding twice. So pull that out. I did trim my seam to 1/4 inch as well after I got my staples out. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the inside, and we are going to stitch from this side so I am sure that I catch it. Oops, there we go. Okay. Got tons of little frays here I'll have to clean up. All right, let's do it. straps on backwards. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to say it out loud. I'm not even done yet. I really like this form of binding because you don't miss any. You see it. I mean, it's right here. Let's see how it looks. There you guys. It's perfect. It's perfect. I thought it was a lot more work because you'd actually stitch it twice, but you don't miss anything. You don't miss anything, and I don't have any puckers. Look how tiny that is, though. All right, let's do the same thing on this side. Right sides together, and I'll do this whole thing on fast forward because it's just a repeat. All right, that really went pretty good. So now we're just going to do the binding on this side. All right, let's turn it right side out, see how we did. Turned pretty easy. Very happy with that. I am not happy with this fraying of my waterproof canvas. So I'll have to keep that in mind. Very cute. Very, very cute. It is tiny though. And when I say tiny, it's small for what I carry. Although, you know, I'm going to reserve that. I shouldn't even say that yet. All right, let me get my D-rings and we'll All right, take those. Your 2 D-ring connectors and let's stitch around the outside. And I am going to pull this to the inside so there's no back stitching. Okay, let me pull that. Okay. Tie it off. Trim it and burn it. Perfect. Okay, now what you want to do is put your rivets on. Mark your holes where your rivets go. Put those on. Make sure your D-ring's on. and attach your rivets. Oops. Now, because I am using leather, and that's all there is to it. Isn't that cute? And this tab is in the front where your zipper is. But it doesn't have to be. You could put it anywhere you want. All right, let's do this. Sew this one. Pull that in. Hold on to your threads. Tie them off. And repeat over here. So the best way to get where your holes go on your tab here is to put this together like this and attach it so it's nice and centered, and mark your holes. Grab your rivets. And we'll go punch our rivets closed. Okay, guys. The Rayna by Lindshandmade. This is the cutest little bag. So let me put it on so you can kind of gauge how big it is. It is so cute. Now, it is small. I'm trying to think, a purse pal would obviously fit in there, but look, it's actually wider than a Louis. The depth is wider. Let me go grab a purse pal just so you can see. Okay, so I got a purse pal and a tall wallet. So here's the purse pal. Fits in there just fine. Okay, that's a purse pal. Pretty. The tall wallet also fits in there just fine. So if you are familiar with either of these wallets, that gives you an idea of the width. This is a really cute bag, and it's leather. I really like it. The Rayna by Lindshandmade. You have a nice pocket here. Let me see if my phone will fit in here. Hold on. My phone is a iPhone 14 Pro Max. It will not fit in the front pocket. Let me see if it'll fit inside in the slip pocket. No. It will fit in here, but it will not fit in this front pocket or this pocket. So, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to make it at 115%, and then it'll be perfect for me. Now, this is what the kids are carrying, this size. They carry very little anymore, which I love. But this is what they're carrying, the Rayna. It is so cute. How she does the wings is very cute too. So it's put together with 2 rivets here, very secure. This is all leather on the outside that I did on these raw edges. I did put base coat, so they're not going to fray at all. This leather wouldn't fray anyway. Very cute. This will be for sale on my website. The Rayna by Lindshandmade. I can't wait to make 115%. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it next. Maybe I'll do it live. What do you think? I think I will. All right. Thanks for watching. Go get the pattern. The Rayna by Lindshandmade. It's absolutely adorable. I love it. And the leather is fine for this bag. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.